Hello, friends. Today we will learn what is basically Gandhian principle or Gandhian talisman, and how to apply in the case studies which come in GS4 ethics paper part 2. Because earlier videos I have already explained the Skidder's paradigms and Potter box model. So today I am coming up with the Gandhian talisman or Gandhian ideas or ideology, how to apply that. As all of us know, Gandhiji promoted truth, non-violence, Antyodaya, Sarvodaya, etc. So basically, his philosophy or his talisman, or which is called tabiz or jantar also, uh, is basically empathy driven. uh, he says that your actions should be rooted in compassion for most vulnerable. So this is what Gandhi is basically, this thing is there, that it's empathy driven, and action should be rooted in compassion with for most vulnerable. Now, what is actually Gandhian talisman? So Gandhiji's statement, I will read it because it's very important. What he has said. Uh, I will give you talisman. Whenever you are in doubt or when this self becomes too much with you, apply the following test. Recall the face of the poorest and the weakest man whom you may have seen, and ask yourself if the step you contemplate is going to be of any use to him. Will he gain anything by it? So, will it restore him to control over his own life and destiny? In other words, will it lead to Swaraj or freedom from for the hungry and spiritually starving millions? Then you will find your doubts and yourself melt away. So this is what Gandhiji has stated, and this is very, very, useful for a civil servant, particularly in the dilemmas where ethical dilemmas are involved. What one should do. So you have to remember the poorest of the poor, and you have to work for poorest of the poor. Now, what is the ethical philosophy behind this Gandhiji's idea or Gandhian talisman? See, first main point is it's compassionate decision making. So your actions have to be guided by poorest of the poor, weakest of the society, and their benefit. So it has to be basically what impact it makes on the weakest sections, the poor, voiceless, and vulnerable. So this is very important, because for any good civil servant, an extraordinary civil servant, this has to be the main quality. Now, this is again the second point is selflessness and humility. So if you believe in that poorest of the poor, then you have to go move beyond your ego, beyond your self-interest or political ambition. So this ensures that you will become selfless and you will be a person with humility. Third is moral clarity in doubt. So it provides a ethical test. It provides a tool to decide between what you have to do. If the conflict is there or if the dilemma is there, what one should do. Then next is human-centric public service. So Gandhi's idea is instrumental for ensuring dignity, autonomy, and empowerment of the oppressed, poorest of the poor, weakest of the society. Now, let us give some example, one or two example to understand how this Gandhian talisman or Gandhian principle is applied for resolving the case study. Let us say first case study is you are a district magistrate overseeing slum relocation. Now, a project offers better urban development but displaces thousands of slum dwellers. Now, what one should do? Because this is very important. These kind of situations do come in the routine or in a duty chart of a civil servant. Now here, before applying, what Gandhian talisman says, you think of the poorest of the poor. So before applying, approving the project, you have to ask, will this help the poorest to regain dignity and control over their life? So accordingly, you may approve it only after ensuring rehabilitation. Proper rehabilitation has to be there, education access, livelihood support, rather than mere eviction. So, anyway, they have to be evicted, but unless these are arranged, you will not go for eviction and you will not go for approving this project. So, this is what Gandhian talisman, as far as this case study is concerned. Now, let us say another example. A welfare scheme has minor implementation delays, but strict rules penalize poor beneficiaries. So there is some delay, and because of that, poor beneficiaries are going to suffer because that scheme may not be implemented to them, or may not, all beneficiaries may not be covered. Now, what one should do? So here you have to again prioritize empathetic administration, provide flexibility where genuinely needed, and protect the vulnerable from bureaucratic injustice. If required, you seek the permission from higher ups or from the government or state or central government that this kind of problem has come up and we want to extend the time or something like that. So you have to again think of the poorest of the poor, weakest of the society. Now, how this theory, Gandhian talisman, compares with other important theories. This is important because other theories we have not seen. We will definitely see in due course. But here in brief, let us understand, because this is very important again. See, utilitarianism says greatest good of greatest number. Now, what Gandhiji says, Gandhian ethics instead says greatest good for the weakest first. So, this is what Gandhian tells. Kantian deontology, what they say, duty or universal moral law. You follow your duty, or whatever is universal moral law, you follow. What Gandhi says, Gandhi emphasizes duty guided by compassion. So, this is again important thing. Now, let us say third, ethics with care. What ethics with care says? Contextual empathy and relational responsibility. So, if you see, to some extent, this is near to Gandhi's ideas, because what Gandhiji says, this ethics with care has a strong overlap with Gandhi's people-centered moral imagination. So, in a way, this ethics with care, if you can say, in different words, it's Gandhi's ideology. Now, in conclusion, I just want to say Gandhian talisman is not just a quote. It is a living moral guide for ethical governance. It embodies the values of public service, integrity, social justice, and empathy. And it reminds that true leadership begins with sensitivity to the sufferings of the weakest, and ethical greatness lies in serving the last person. Now, another thing I just want to say before I close. See, Gandhian talisman is not only very useful for the ethics paper, but it's also equally useful for interview. Because see, in interview also many questions will be asked which you have to reply. Now, definitely, if you use this principle, ethical principle of Gandhi, for framing your answer during interview, you are going to definitely fetch very good marks. So please remember that. Now, with this, I conclude today's this video. In next videos, I will be again coming up with other ethical theories, ethical principles which are applicable on the case studies as well as other papers. So I thank the viewers again, and I close this video. Thank you.